Hey everybody, this is Coach Aaron. I'm coming back to you today with a few kettlebell clean drills, double kettlebells to be more specific. Early on in my journey, I had a little bit of trouble trying to get that mastered. I tended to muscle up the bells. There was a few things that I learned early on, and then those other things that I learned during my SFG CERT weekend that just blew my mind. I implement them to this day. I never look back. I had a lot of questions from you guys concerning banging the wrist with the kettlebells, cleaning to the waist, cleaning maybe a little bit too high, a stance for where the feet should be in relation to the double kettlebell width. And one of the things that I started implementing and experimenting with was thumbs in and thumbs out. So the V frame and the A frame, something that I found there's pros and cons to both of them. So I'll kind of be discussing that a little bit. So hold on tight, I'll get to the drills in a little bit. If you do like these videos, please subscribe. That'll help a lot. It'll help let me know what I should make more videos about. And once you do that, I appreciate it. Let's get to your drills. So when we start the deadlift, we need to make sure that our feet are right beside the bell. So the bell is going to dissect the middle of your feet, okay? Just like any other deadlift, you're going to want to hinge at your hips. Your hips are going to shoot back. Something that I really learned throughout the years is that you have to engage your abs. As much as you're using your spinal erectors, you need to use your abs and your internal and external obliques. They need to be turned on in order to really align your spine, keep yourself safe and strong. So you're going to want to grip the ground with your feet, engaging your abs, knees are pointed out, engaging your glutes. Once you grab the weight, activate those lats. Breathe, sniff in. So sniffing in the beginning gives you some intra-abdominal pressure that's going to help stabilize your spine. Pushing your knees out, not so much that your feet roll, but pushing them enough to activate your glutes is going to really tie your glutes to your lats, right? Your lats connect the same region as your glutes, your gluteus minimus. And by pulling your shoulders back, connects everything together. So that's key. And the reason why that's key is because that's the setup. That's the same feeling you want in a slightly modified version for the beginning of the clean. So that's the first drill I recommend anybody become proficient at before you start doing any kind of kettlebell cleans. I'll do another view, straight view, right? Make sure the bell dissects your feet, grip the ground, hinge back at your waist, activate your core as well, grip the bells, pull back, load your hips, up. So the act of loading your hips, you're actually shifting back, and that's what at Strong First they refer to as the wedge. It really feels like you're wedging. It feels like if you pull back enough, your hips are getting loaded, and really and truthfully the weight pops up. So really good key there, all right? Next we're gonna go over the double kettlebell swing, and I like to call these turning off your arms, all right? This is how I used to teach kettlebells way before I even knew what Strong First was. The only reason is because that's how I was taught a while back, is that you gotta swing as if your arms are ropes. That's correct in the beginning. It's correct to learn that the power and the momentum comes from your hips. The power comes from your hips, and your arms are literally just a rope, for lack of better words, right? It's just a rope that is an extension of that force, but with virtually no impact on how high the bell goes. So if you can imagine turning your arms off while you're swinging, that's the second drill that I recommend. And what this does is this keeps you honest, keeps you accountable to your hips. If you're swinging and your arms are already engaged here, you took the power out of your hips and replaced it for something a lot less more powerful, like your upper body, okay? I'll demonstrate. I will say it looks funny and it feels funny. You might feel a little wobbly at first because you're not used to it, but turning your arms off, just engaging your hips, is gonna pay dividends in learning the correct form, right? Forgot to mention, when you, the way to set up for a perfect clean or perfect swing is literally only a foot away from the bell. And the reason why you want to put a foot away from the bell is to really load your hips. It forces you to load your hips and lean back. So you put your feet only a foot away from, your foot length away from the bell. 1, 2, 3, right? Taught that by Master Certified Instructor Karen Smith. Once I learned it, I never looked back. Amazing tip, amazing, right? Grab the bell, same procedures as a deadlift. Load your hips, turn on your lats, right? Now you're gonna swing the bells, turning off your arms. So what I'll see most people do countless times is they will swing like if they're doing a lateral raise. This is not a lateral raise, right? If you start lifting some real weights, right, then doing that is going to be virtually impossible unless you're just built like a Mack truck, but it's going to be virtually impossible. So what I always recommend, use your hips. The more you do this, the more you have to learn timing. You got to be patient and let the bell come in. Once your arm connects with your hips, that's power. You want to connect to your power source. Receive it. Squeeze, power. It gives you okay for your arms to go forward, right? So when you guys start getting a little bit more skilled, you will use your arms a little bit. You just do, it's natural. You're gonna connect the hips to the lats to the arm. It's an extension. You will use your arms very little bit, but you have to use it to control it. But the power is gonna come from your hips, all right? Just like that. All right, guys, so the first video that I made was actually a little bit long, so I decided to cut that double kettlebell clean tutorial, tips, cues into 2 parts. The second portion is going to cover the other 2 cues that I have, which is cleaning, right, to the waist, and then actually going over using your hands as brakes, as well as thumb position, A-frame, neutral, or rather not neutral, but side to side, and then V grip, okay? So hopefully you guys, sorry I cut it short, but stay tuned for the part 2, which I will be uploading immediately after, right? Thank you very much, guys. God bless.